Mitchell Trubisky's shoulder injury more of an issue than we were led on to believe last season. What is going on, y'all? FaizSportsTalk back at it with another video talking, of course, some NFL here to talk about the Chicago Bears. So if you are a Bears fan, what are you doing if you haven't subbed to the channel? Go ahead and do so. Even if you're a fan of the NFL in general, I do talk general NFL as well. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Would really appreciate it. That is the best way to support me. And also follow me on my social media platforms. Links, as always, in the description. And check out the links in the description. You guys can support me on Patreon. And all of that good stuff is always down in the description. So today we're talking about Mitchell Trubisky's shoulder injury last season. Okay? Remember that? People forget. He injured his non-throwing shoulder. So let's talk about that again. Why am I talking about this now, right? It's been so long. Well, because somebody else brought it up, okay? And I'm talking about a reporter, Adam Johns of The Athletic, who's a very good Bears reporter, brought this up after Mitchell Trubisky had his first press conference since the Nick Foles trade. And by the way, I reacted and gave my thoughts to that press conference. So go ahead and check that video out if you're interested. But basically, he said the following: Trubisky's shoulder injury, and I quote, although it was his non-throwing arm, was more of a hindrance than he and the team ever led on. And furthermore, Mitchell Trubisky hinted at this in the press conference when he said, obviously, health comes down to a little bit of luck. Okay? And I got a little curious, and I had actually totally forgot about the fact that Mitch got hurt last season because, again, he played through it. Only, I think, missed a game last season. I think it was the Raiders game in which Chase Daniel started. We lost that game, by the way. I remember that very well. But point being is that Mitchell Trubisky got hurt. Okay? It was the game against the Minnesota Vikings, and it was week 4 last season. Okay? So very early game in the season. Okay? And Mitch, I think, rolls out of the pocket, and he comes down and has somebody land on him and obviously dislocates his non-throwing shoulder. Now, I will say Mitchell Trubisky kind of made a dumb play at that point where, he really shouldn't have scrambled, and obviously I think that led to the injury. But point being is, it happened. That is how injuries happen. Sometimes they're accidents, right? But that knocked Mitchell Trubisky out of the game. And here's the thing. When he came back, we all assumed, oh, it's his non-throwing shoulder. He'll be fine. Here's the thing, folks. Okay? Dislocations, torn labrums. I don't care where the injury is. Any injury, for the most part, to your body is going to hurt. And so you're telling me a guy that has his, non-throwing shoulder, so his left shoulder, dislocated and partially torn, is not going to experience any pain when he throws from his right shoulder? I mean, we're talking about throwing, 20, 30, 40 times a game. You're absolutely going to experience this. And I'm so glad that Adam Johns brought this up, this reporter brought this up, and even Mitch brought this up, because this was just dusted and thrown under the carpet. Like, people just forgot about this. And here's the thing. The one good thing about Mitch is he doesn't like to make excuses because he knows people don't like to hear excuses. And he basically showed that by not missing that many games. If Mitch had missed a bunch of playing time, I guarantee you people would have complained. Oh, it's a non-throwing shoulder. How are you missing playing time, right? I got it. So he didn't want it to make it a big deal. And here's all I'm saying is, going back and looking at the numbers, I do believe this had a pretty solid impact on Mitchell Trubisky's play last year. He just wasn't 100%, and you can't convince me that he was, because, like I said, he had a dislocation, okay? And certainly, you are not going to be 100%. I don't care if it's your non-throwing shoulder, okay? And let's remember, what's the context here? Against the Vikings in week 4, Mitchell Trubisky, the week prior, playing the Redskins, coming off a 3-touchdown game. So he played phenomenal that game. I get it. It's the Redskins, right? He should be playing well. But here's the thing, all right? When you are playing bad teams, let's give credit for playing well, okay? Because you are supposed to play well. If you would have played bad, you would have bashed them. So I'm just saying. So coming off a game against the Redskins in which he throws 3 touchdowns, we get the win. And we had beaten the Broncos. So coming off of 2 wins, it looked like he was catching momentum. And then this happens. And all of a sudden, you're talking about missing a game, pretty much a game and a half, because he was out the rest of the Vikings game. And then now you're hurt, and then obviously you're not going to be the same guy. So I do believe Mitchell Trubisky would have had a better season if he did not get hurt. Now, how much better, I'm not sure, but certainly better than what he did last season. So again, am I saying this was literally the difference between, Mitchell Trubisky being good and bad? No, but I do believe this had a pretty significant impact on Mitchell Trubisky because he was playing hurt. Again, you can't convince me he was 100% when we know he had a dislocation. Even if it's on your non-throwing shoulder, that hurts, and especially when you're quarterback and you have to throw the ball from obviously your arm for 30, 40 times a game. So again, that's all I'm saying. Let's not just ignore this. Mitchell Trubisky was hurt. He was. He doesn't want to make excuses. I respect him for it, but he was hurt. Okay? If he wasn't hurt, I'd be very curious how he would have done, because it would have been much better than the 17 touchdowns and the 10 interceptions and a little over 3,100 passing yards he had last season. Okay? Because in 2018, we saw what a fully healthy Mitchell Trubisky could do. Okay? So that's all I'm saying. And like I said, last season, we're 8-8. The Bears were 8-8. But you're talking about a kick from Eddie Pinheiro against the Chargers that could have been a potential game winner. And again, there's so many games that there were like one score, so you're going from 8-8 to 10-6. So I'm just saying, right? There's so many things that could have happened, but we did not have a fully healthy Mitchell Trubisky last season. That is a fact. Okay? Again, it sucks. That is how things are. Sometimes, you can't control injuries. That's how Tom Brady Tom Brady got his job because obviously the quarterback in front of him got hurt, and a lot of quarterbacks have gotten or lost their jobs. Tony Romo comes to mind, right? So you can't control injuries. They shouldn't be an excuse, but let's just give the full picture and the full story. Mitchell Trubisky still knows he needs to go out there and earn the starting job back and compete with Nick Foles. And he knows that he can't use the injury as an excuse, but let's not act like it didn't happen and it didn't make an impact, because it did. So there you have, folks. Let me know what you guys think about the fact that this injury was pretty significant to me. I do think it was. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below if you agree or disagree. As always, thanks for watching.